アルファ世代は一般に2010年から2024年頃に生まれた世代で、生まれた時からスマホやタブレットが身近にある真のデジタルネイティブと言われています。 SNS やショート動画で情報収集し、オンライン交流も得意なアルファ世代に対して、アメリカでも大人が戸惑いを感じることが多いようです。今回の動画ではアメリカのアルファ世代に焦点を当てて、アメリカ人のアルファ世代に対する考えを見ていきます。
The kids can't read, write, or remember anything or use their imaginations, and the teachers are wondering why. Parents are confused with why our children are coming home with these crazy grades or not knowing how to do their homework, so then we can't help them because they don't know how to tell us what the hell they're doing in class. All across the country, we got teachers saying the same thing, that these kids are not in the level or on the level of the grade that they're in, that their handwriting is crazy, that they have zero retention and zero access to imagination. They will practice a subject or a skill the whole week, and then when it comes to testing, the children draw a blank. They don't know. They don't know what they're supposed to do. We were writing full-ass essays, the final draft and the rough draft in the same 45-minute time period, ready to turn in third grade. We got high schoolers out here right now that can't write 5 paragraphs. And the teachers and parents alike want to know why. But I'm going to tell you something, it ain't the kids, it's the system. It's not just COVID. It's not just the phones and the tablets. It's not just the parents. It's not just the curriculum. It's all of it.
Trending word alert, I present to you Choppelganger. This word is fresh on the scene and kids are just now starting to use it. So here I am, Mr. Lindsay, to explain to you exactly what it means. Now, I found out about the word this week because a kid walked up to me and told me that I was Kirk Cousins' Choppelganger. Now, let me explain it to you and you'll see that this kid was in fact not wrong. Choppelganger is the melding of 2 words. We've got doppelganger, which you guys all know is someone who you're not related to but looks just like you. And chopped is a word that kids use to describe something as ugly or undesirable. So, a choppelganger, those 2 words together then, is the uglier version of the doppelganger. In other words, it's the off-brand look-alike, the Great Value or Temu version, if you will. This word is just now starting to pick up steam, and I guarantee you, you will be hearing it from your teens in the very near future. Now that you know what it means, let me know in the comments, is it true? Am I Kirk Cousins' Choppelganger? Hope this helps.
So today I discovered that a bunch of my students have been using AI to complete my assignments. And I decided to go ahead and address my classes, where I was like, listen, I am aware that many of you guys have been using AI on my assignments. If you take accountability and fess up to using AI before I go and get you, okay, the consequences will be significantly less severe. So of course, what happens after school, I have 100 kids outside my door ready to tell me that they used AI on their assignments. However, the last person to admit this to me, okay, literally looked me in my eyes and said, Miss, I didn't even do the assignment. But I know that if I would have done the assignment, I would have used AI. So I wanted to apologize for that. Honestly, I think that right there sums up the amount of audacity these children have today.
I'm not gonna lie, she kind of real for that though.
Today was my son's first day of 6th grade, and I asked him, did anybody bully you? And he's like, nobody bullies anybody, Mom. That's so weird that you say that. And I'm like, I got bullied brutally on my first day of 6th grade. I still remember it. And years later, when I got my first job working at the Dollar Tree when I was 18, I ran into my bully, who continued to bully me, not just at the first day of 6th grade, but all throughout middle school. And I don't know if it was the anti-bullying campaign. They were always like, stop bullying. And when we were in school, we were like, yeah, right, everybody's just gonna bully forever. But according to my kids, like, he never sees anybody really get, like, made fun of. And he thinks it's like, he says it's, like, really uncool to bully people. Like, you have to be more nonchalant than that. It's super lame to be a bully. And plus, if you're a bully, you're like a Karen, and you're going to get posted online. Somebody's going to post you and be like, get a load of this guy. So I just feel like it's not the same culture at all. It's not just farting that Gen Z is not laughing at. They're just not laughing at each other in the same way that all of us just clowned on each other.
Am I the only one who's seen a lot of these Christmas hauls and is wondering where all the toys went? I keep seeing these like 12-year-olds who are doing 8-minute long Christmas hauls with about 1,000,001 items. There's not a single fun thing in there. I'm 21, I'm building one of my Christmas gifts right now. It's a Lego Hogwarts castle, and I was so excited about it. Meanwhile, elementary schoolers are doing Christmas hauls, and it's like 15 different colors of Lululemon sweatshirts, or like drunk elephant products, which I didn't even know what that was until an 11-year-old talked about it in a Christmas haul. When I was 11, I didn't even know what skincare was. I still probably don't as much as I should, but I swear these kids know more about products than I do. I remember when I was younger, during Christmas time, I'd get like the Toys R Us catalog and I would flip through, take a big marker and circle all the things that I wanted. I wanted like spy gadgets, I wanted Legos, and I wanted little action figures, and I wanted like toy helicopters that I could fly around my yard. I didn't want a moisturizer. I know I rant a lot about iPad kids. I feel like this whole new era of kids that have access to like social media, it just makes them stop being children. Do you still see kids dressed the way that we would when we were children? What happened to like the very weirdly dressed tween phase? When I was 12, every boy in my grade was wearing like fully highlighter outfits, neon yellow, neon green, Nike Elite socks. Tweens used to look like tweens, and now I'm walking around and these children are like dressed better than I am because they see it on TikTok, and all these kids just want to dress like the 20-year-old influencers that they see on their For You page. They want to behave and speak and watch the same shows and listen to the same music as all these influencers who are so much older than them. Then they sort of stop acting like kids. Now, as a result, nobody's getting Legos. Legos are fun, guys. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I don't know what the solution to this is. This is just a rant. I wish kids still wanted to like play with things.
I teach music lessons, and I'm a little bit concerned about my younger students, my Gen Alpha students. I would say under 10, maybe 12. I am not speaking to their academic performance or their intelligence. All of them are very, very bright. I am not speaking negatively toward them. I'm just relaying my thoughts and observations. I feel like my young students do not have the background knowledge that I would expect them to have at their age and grade level. So here's an example. I had a student a while back. I was doing a vocal warm-up with them, and they're probably about 9 or 10 years old. And I was going to teach them an exercise that involves the months of the year in order. So when I started to teach them this exercise, they go, "Oh, I don't know the months. I don't know the months in order." And I was like, "Oh, well, maybe 9 and 10-year-olds, 4th and 5th graders, like, don't know the months." I was thinking back to when I was in 1st grade and my teacher had each of the calendar months like in a row in order with like all of our birthdays. I definitely learned the months when I was 6. I've also noticed some things that I think are generational, such as not recognizing like an analog clock face, not knowing how many quarters or cents are in a dollar. The reason why I've realized these things is because of the way I teach. I like to have a lot of examples and comparisons for me to understand a concept, and that's what I'm trying to do with my students. I'm not trying to be negative toward this generation. I'm just kind of taken aback when I'm trying to fish for a way to help them understand a concept and I can't come up with anything that relates to them because they don't have that background knowledge. Nursery rhymes are also a huge thing. Like I said, this could be generational, cultural, but not knowing like Baba Black Sheep, Itsy Bitsy Spider, Mary Had a Little Lamb. This has made me assume that there is some kind of a fundamental difference between how I learned things when I was in school and how schools are teaching things now. But I've seen a lot of videos about Gen Alpha and like their attention, and like, not sure if this is related to that or if this is solely just a generational thing where like, of course they don't recognize an analog clock, they don't use those, and they don't use cash, and nursery rhymes are things that were written 100 years ago, so they don't have to know those things. I think I need to learn these kids more. It's not them at this point. I'm just wondering if anybody else has had experience maybe in specifically teaching music to Gen Alpha who can speak to this specific thing, because I keep trying to draw comparisons and they just fall flat. So, fall flat, no pun intended.